Hey, Blue Table fans! Yeah, I know, you've already seen this orc army. I'm doing just a little bit of finishing work on it. I used to just take pictures and that was kind of like, you know, this is how the army looks, it's done. And now I might take pictures several times and, you know, let it percolate a little bit and do small improvements as we go along. So we were doing desert bases on these guys. Oh, by the way, I'm just going to chit-chat with you guys while I put clump foliage. What does that look like? So anyway, gonna put on some white glue onto a palette. And my 5-year-old daughter uses my glue to make slime. She now knows how to make it by herself, so she's making slime every day. Slime is basically a little bit of water, a little bit of detergent, borax detergent as a catalyst, and then you put on, what is it? What else do you put in it? Yeah, that's basically it. You can put in shaving cream to make it like foamy slime. All right, anyway, so to do clump foliage, you just grab a little bit of the foliage and you dip part of it in the white glue and you stick it on. And the white glue will be clear, and oh, these already have some on it. The white glue will dry clear, which is nice, that's why you use that. And the white glue's plenty to put it on. If you use super glue, that tends to make it like harden, like it soaks into the clump foliage and makes it really hard. Oh, here's one that didn't get any. So I picked 2 colors of clump foliage. Move that just a little bit. So I'm going to combine the two, and that'll give a really nice effect. This isn't a regular basing style of ours. It's kind of a custom basing style. I really need to update our basing styles though. Like they need to be different. I've started using tuft foliage, which is like those little bristly bushes types things. And so I gotta get that into the official recipe so everything matches up. So basically it'll amount to making some new basing styles. Now we used to have like 20 basing styles, and that's really not great. I think we have it down to like 6 or 8 now. We have 2 basic types of basing style. We have a basic base and a specialty base. The basic ones are like Battlefield, which is brown rocks, green grass, brown edge. Rubble, which is just gray rocks, black edge, which is one that I highly recommend. It makes it for a great frame. But even rubble, I've started complicating it by adding an extra step of putting some brown, like wash, into the bases to give them some depth. Because I think just doing straight up gray dry brush on top, that's really not enough. All right, so this guy's really amazing. I just want to get one more color of clump foliage on there. I don't know if you can see it. This is really just an audio thing that I'm doing here, like just to entertain you guys. I haven't made videos for like 2 weeks. Some people have like commented on it. I mean like that I know personally and meet in real life. They're like, hey, what's up with no videos, Sean? I'm like, I don't know, I just don't feel like it. I mean, not that I'm sad or anything, if I'm busy with getting orders filled, then I don't usually want to make more videos. But I really should to keep the ball rolling, because right now I could stand to add some projects. What I'd really like to add for someone who's looking for a bargain is I'd like to add some level 2 projects, like 100 infantry or simple figures or more, just down to a very basic level. And I could start right away, because I have talent to do that. Usually the talent is in a pyramid, like all of them can do level 3, and then as you get higher to level 6, there's like less and less people that are really good at it. So let's see here. Yeah, so that's kind of how it goes. So the bandwidth is lower. So like if I had a ton of people wanting level 6 stuff done, then the wait time would just get longer for that. And because it takes a while, you can't go from 0 to 6 right away in terms of training. You know, that guy doesn't need any foliage. Well, I'll give him a little bit. So anyway, it takes a while to train up somebody to do higher level painting. Good thing white glue dries clear. Okay, here we go. I keep sort of rubbing my hands together with a little bit of glue, and they're getting stickier and stickier. Wow, do I really even need more things? Yeah, look at this space. That's really nice. I'm gonna put some different colored, put this darker color clump foliage on there. Yeah, this clump foliage looks really good. There we go. That looks nice. That makes me happy inside. Ooh, these knobs definitely need some. Just a little bit will go a really long way. All right. Now, my wife is awesome, by the way. You should know that. And we get along really well. We solve our day-to-day issues very quickly and easily. And but in terms of entertainment, we don't really like the same things. However, there are some shows that we like, that we both like. And those are rare. Like when I find something we can both like, that is really awesome. So we both like the IT Crowd. And we both like Star Trek of almost any kind. I think any kind. And then we also like Frasier. Frasier is an old 90s show about a radio psychologist. And it's a really good show. I think it won a lot of awards. And it certainly made Kelsey Grammer into the well-known figure that he is. Here we go. I don't know if you can see me putting on this clump foliage. Got to give this Pain Boy some love here. Yeah. Oh, I have not seen Star Trek the original series. I've just seen some episodes. I've never sat down and watched the whole thing. So maybe I should do that someday soon. I think to maintain my nerd cred, I'll need to do that. Another thing I want to do is work on my public speaking. When I hear myself on my videos, I hear myself pausing a lot and saying a lot. And I also tend to wander in my topics. So I could definitely improve my speaking in that area. I thought of putting myself up as a paid public speaker, and I thought that'd be pretty cool. I know there's places that are they're like, man, we would pay this amount of money just to get somebody just to do this speech. And because I love getting up in front of people. It's like the opposite. Most people dread getting up in front of a group of people. And for me, it's the opposite. Like if I'm in a situation where there's a bunch of people, I wish I were the person getting up to speak. I want to do that. I really absolutely love it. And I've always been well received when I'm speaking to a group of people because I'm very outgoing and they can tell that I'm comfortable up there. And, this old out-of-print Gauze-Skull Thraka there, that's part of it too. Yeah, I'm really excited about how this orc army turned out. We had a Custodes army in blue and gold come through recently. All this is on the Flickr page. And then there was another major army that just got done too. We had an Eldar army in blue and white. I was showing that off for a while. And we've got like 40 projects going, probably about 10 of them whole armies right now. And for the most part, they're being actively worked on. And the ones that aren't being actively worked on are going to be actively worked on relatively soon. So I'm pretty excited. Our turnaround time has gotten better and better these days. And as usual, I'm just focused on the business. That's kind of the main thing I have going on in life. I'd like to improve things. Getting to a certain place in terms of turnaround time has been one of my goals for a while. I went back and looked at, ooh, that piece is too big. I went back and looked at my old blog blogspot.bluetablepainting.com, I think it is. Yeah, an actual blog spot, guys. That's retro, I think, now. And anyway, it was the end of February. It was the end of February 2008. And I was like, hey, it's the end of February 2008. I want to make sure that we have enough projects for March. Meaning if there were no new projects, I would have been done with everything by the end of March. So we were only booked out a month, less than a month. And I wanted to be booked out like 4 to 8 weeks. So our turnaround time at that time was really, really amazing. And you just can't beat that. Like most places, it's at least 3 months before they can start. And right now at BTP, we can start almost right away. I'm getting that turnaround time just tightened up, and all the backlog stuff is going to be done soon. So, and that ties into, of course, this orc army, and the other armies that have come through recently it's clearing things out, and that really makes me happy. It's very exciting. It's really good. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm picking up models and I'm seeing they already have stuff on them. So this is good. I'm trying to put at least a little bit on about half of them. Okay, so let's talk about basing at Blue Table Painting. So there's basic bases like Deadlands, Rubble, Battlefield. Those are kind of the basic ones. And then there's like 3 other styles. Desert is a basic base. But specialty bases could be like snow or tundra, or what's called urban rubble, where there's like little decorations like pieces of concrete and rocks and barbed wire, stuff like that. And those are specialty bases, and those have a minor cost to them. You can also, if you want, get just resin bases. And so we order them and we just do them. We put the models on those instead of the regular plastic bases. So, and then there's what are called decorative bases, which is a basic base, and then there's a little bit of an extra charge to just put something extra on it, like a rock or a piece of battlefield debris or something like that. So a decorative base isn't a type of base, it's an upgrade to a base. Could you have specialty decorative bases? Yes, you could. You could upgrade that. So you could have basic bases that are decorative, you could have specialty bases which are decorative, and then you could have resin bases as well, which are ordered from a third-party company. We were trying to make our own, but it never really took off. The problem is, anytime somebody's doing something simpler and better, it usually means your thing isn't going to take off because the market has already been fulfilled with those things. And in our case, it was just easier to order bases from companies that had already done them. Like they had already done all the preliminary work, plus they would cast them, the labor involved in that, and then they would ship them to you, and it would be a certain amount per base, usually $1 a base for basic things. And then for us to actually do all of that turned out to be more expensive and quite frankly not as good. So that's why we gave up on doing our own bases. One of my favorite companies for that is called secretweaponminiatures.com, and they're a company that's been around forever. And you have these companies like myself that have stood the test of time. And that's part of a reason why you're going to want to choose a certain company. You want to choose a company that's not just going to blow up in 5 days, or that the one person that's in charge of it is going to have a meltdown and the whole place is going to blow up. Or worse yet, all of your stuff is just going to disappear. That's no es bueno. Is this still recording? Let me just check. Yep, it's still going. We're good. Hello. All right. Excuse me. I went to see Suicide Squad with my kids. I have 5 kids. I took 3 of them. My oldest daughter and my youngest daughter didn't go. My 5-year-old daughter, obviously, I couldn't take her to this ultra-violent rated R movie that lasted for 2 hours. We very much enjoyed it. I'd say it was like Guardians of the Galaxy, but it was a lot bloodier. Like it was not, this show is not family friendly. It was brutal, but it was super entertaining. It was like watching Game of Thrones in fast forward. Like just, oh man, it was brutal. And super entertaining. I would definitely go and see it again, and that is rare for me to say that. Oh, you can't? Oh yeah, I've been like just doing it off to the side this whole time. Oh boy. Well, anyway, this is meant to just be an audio anyway. And Suicide Squad was awesome. I really loved it. I had a great time. I definitely recommend it. It's not for the family, unless your family is like older. I guess that's funny. I said it's not for the family, and then in the same breath, I took my own family to see it. Well, my kids are very worldly. I took my 12-year-old daughter, my 15-year-old son, and my 16-year-old son now, and my 19-year-old. Nope, he's almost 20. 19-year-old son. So anyway, they really loved it. I could tell that they liked it. My 12-year-old daughter is 5'6", and she wears these gothic clumper black boots, which are awesome, by the way. And so in those, she's 5'9", and it's really wild. And she definitely has her own style. I think it's called trash goth. So all my daughters are very creative and very innovative in terms of their dress and style, and they create their own style, and I think that's really cool, and I like it, and I like them too. I definitely like all my kids. They're really wonderful. Of course, that's easy because I have no expectations of them. I don't have plans for my own kids to be a certain way or do a certain thing. I got Google Fiber Internet, which is a zillion times better than what we had before. I think it was Comcast. So it's supposedly 3 times as fast, and in experience, like actually trying it, it seems like it's 3 times as fast. They did a really good job. Wow, these bases were done really well. The base edge is nice and thick, nice and solid, is what I meant to say. And there's little rocks on them. So I think this client got definitely an upgrade at no charge because we did a lot extra on these bases, and that's good. Oh, and back to the bases thing. All right, hold on. Did I finish my thoughts? Yeah, Google Fiber is awesome. I'm very pleased. That has to do with this video because it won't take forever for this video to upload. With the older one, we would get throttled if we tried to use too much bandwidth. And I mean, I guess I get it, but it would take overnight for me to upload a video. And now maybe I'll do more videos because they upload so fast with the new service. It's really, really amazing. I'm very excited. All right, that's pretty cool. So what am I doing with miniatures battles nowadays? I have my Necrons army. I have my Eldar army, my Ulthwé army, which I just did as a lark. It's a really nice army. I've had it up for sale for a while. I've had some nibbles, but no takers. It's the retail value of the models is right around $750. And so I've been putting it on the block for between, depending on how I feel in a given day, I put it on the block for between $580 and $950. And so far, just a few nibbles, no takers. By the way, don't quote me on those numbers. Anytime it's a video and I'm talking numbers, those are really, really, really loose numbers, guys. Anything that's real has to be written down. And I'm pretty good. I think I'm 100% on saying that and making sure that that's understood so there's no misunderstandings. Because it's important to stand on what I've said. Like if I said something, then I should come through. All right. What else is going on in Sean's life? I have what I call the salamander dilemma. Out in our water meter box out front, not the water, it's like where the water turn on and shut off is for the outside water. Anyway, there's a salamander that lives in there. He's been living in there for 10 years. I believe that he lives on, because they're insectivores, I believe that he lives on just bugs that fall in there. And obviously he's doing well, but I thought, you know, should I get him out of there and just let him loose? Or if maybe in some cosmic way he's happier in there. Or maybe his term of happiness isn't the same. Should I start feeding him? I always put water in there. And so I don't know. Obviously he survives the Utah winters. Does he literally freeze solid out there? I don't know. So anyway, it's a bit of a Zen dilemma of interfering versus non-interference. And I gotta, like, maybe I should just do nothing and let nature take its course. Or maybe my nature is to interfere. So I should just follow my nature and just do whatever. So I'm not sure. And like, would I sentence this poor creature to death if I got him out and set him loose in the bushes? Like he'd be eaten by something else or not know what to do? I don't know. It's weird. Or maybe it's just because I'm a human that makes me think about these things. Like I watch, I'm kind of into crocodile attack, like alligator attack videos where they're like, or the crocs are eating wildebeest or whatever it is. And so anyway, what I've noticed by these Wild Kingdom videos, or in them rather, is that they eat their prey alive. Like that wildebeest is not dead when the lions are already starting to like rip legs off and stuff like that. Like if you're food, you get eaten alive. They don't put you under humanely first. And I'm like, oh, humans, we're really the only ones that I think about our food and actually give it some consideration for humanity or dealing humanely. With, of course, the argument that, well, we shouldn't kill them in the first place, that killing something is inhumane by its nature. If you're a human, that theoretically you don't have to. Now, I don't believe that. I believe something entirely weirder than that I usually just keep to myself. Oh, that's another thing I've been thinking about recently is like I always think I might use my platforms, like this YouTube channel. I mean, it's not the biggest YouTube channel. I get like 200 to 600 views on something typically. A far cry from where it used to be. Of course, a lot of those views were what's that called? Contrived. So I don't know how much of it really was real. Anyway, so I think about giving my opinion, but then I think, oh, Sean, hold on a second. Nobody asked for your opinion. Nobody comes to me and is like, hey, what do you think, Sean? We would love to have your wisdom. No, nobody does that. And I noticed that on Facebook is like, a lot of these posts are pretty preachy. Like I'm like, you don't really know me. Like, is this post meant for somebody else? And that it was just put, like they have somebody specific in mind, but the poster is being really passive aggressive and like puts it just out there, you know, for everybody to see when it's actually one specific person that they have a problem with. And so I always smile at that post and then snooze the poster, which is a beautiful feature of Facebook. You'll snooze. Don't like something's bothering you, it's too negative, or whatever the reason is, you can just snooze that person for 30 days. Still love them, but you know, I usually do it for just preachiness. Like, you know, I like, for me, myself, I don't find that I have the wisdom to tell other people how maybe they make suggestions on how they should live their life or how they should view things. And I actually think that's the purview of the young. I dare say that younger people tend to get more excited about things and decide they need to run out and crusade for something in the form of making a Facebook post. So there's that. But I don't know. And by the way, I'm not knocking young people. I think young people are great. People criticize millennials this, millennials that, but I think you guys are doing a good job. And it's the same thing. The new generation has to figure things out again and make the world they want to live in. Because guess what? 100 years from now, all of the people currently on the earth, including the babies, are going to be dead. They'll be gone. So every 100 years, the whole thing just changes. So those people, well, they have a right to live life how they want, to make new rules. And I think it's really cool. So I'm just interested. And the same thing applies to my kids. I look at what my kids are doing. I think it's interesting. I don't tell them how to live their life. Their mother and I talk, and we do have some like very general boundaries. Like, this isn't allowed. If you want to blow your life up later when we're not responsible, then okay, you can do it in this particular form, but please don't do it before that. And of course we care about our kids, and we give them real warnings about things, like this is a real danger of something bad that could happen to you, and you just gotta be on the lookout for that. All right, well, it feels like I'm done. I only wanted to put foliage on half of them, and I think I more or less accomplished that. And this is really, I'm not sure if this was desert basing, but if it was, the clump foliage certainly doesn't look not deserty. So when you commission us, we have you see, that's bad public speaking to make that noise. You have a specification sheet that you send in. So it's a good idea if you finish a first project and you know that there's going to be expansions on it, you would email me and say, Sean, can you send me the recipe for the basing style, or tell me what the basing style is? And then I would just send that to you. We're doing a lot of custom basing styles now. So it's not great. It doesn't bode well for consistency, but it's not bad either, because obviously it's cool. It looks really good. And so my advice to you would be get the recipe, and then every time you turn in your specs sheet, you can do it. Usually we just say match the first project, and of course there's pictures on our Flickr page, and the artist looks at that and duplicates whatever it is. And we draw from a standardized set of materials, like all the artists have this clump foliage, or access to it at the very least. And so we're good at matching things, which is a big deal. And that's partly because of our great record keeping on the Flickr page, that you can go back and there's 20 or 50 pictures of models that have been done that way. So we can get some consistency. And overall, the artists go through the same training program. They learn the same basic techniques. And a lot of times I have the same artists on for many, 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 many years. I think my record is 8 years of somebody from A to Z. And so we get consistency. That's really nice. Well, anyway, guys, that's what's going on in my life. My life is really super simple. I just have this momentum behind the studio. I work very, very humbly and very simply nowadays. So I live my life in peace, and that's a bit of by way of explanation for the videos thing. That here, when I look at these two, that if I don't make videos, well, I don't really have to. But I enjoy it. However, over the years, I've sort of, like, my hunger for attention has gone down. And so I guess I've just changed as a person. Nowadays I get on just because I have a small community. Thank you for you very few people still tuning in. And I feel a sense of belongingness with that community. And it's not a giant one, but that begs a question that I've answered for myself in recent years. How many people do you need to be happy? And the answer is, well, not that many. I think some people, by way of fame, they get a sense of accomplishment or fulfillment from having loads of followers. But in truth, a human life only has so many hours in the day. So how much can you really pay attention to a group of people? So if you had 50 people involved and you really paid attention to them equally, well, I got to tell you, you'd be spread pretty thin. And with my kids and my very small friends group, I have a great feeling of satisfaction. And my YouTube channel really is part of that. I have a lot of people who follow up, they comment on things. Through the miracle of Facebook, I get to see how their lives are going, and I get a sense of connectedness with people with which I wouldn't otherwise have it. And that's really nice too. It's really, really a wonderful thing. And it makes me very happy. And I suppose if you pull the vision out a little bit more, you are just talking about the satisfaction of life. What do you really want to get out of life? All right, well, that's enough of my jib-jab. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I didn't really go back and forth. Again, I really just meant to have this as an audio and catch up with you guys, let you know what I have going on, and I feel a great string of wonderful new videos coming up. Thanks for tuning in, and as usual, I hope you got your inspiration for the day.